Alright, let's see if that does it. Alright, can you see or hear me right now? Alright, excellent. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. It is so good to see you all. I hope you're in some place cooler than I am right now, in terms of temperature. I kind of doubt anybody's in a place that's cooler than I am in terms of, coolness. In terms of it being an interesting place, because I am here in Utah, that is teeming with dinosaurs. Which broadcast of a dinosaur dig? So, pat yourselves on the back for being here. And again, welcome to Paleontologizing. Oh, did it freeze? Hang on a minute. What do we have going on here? It's working itself out? Okay, good. Yeah, this is a test stream, everybody. Because I'm running off of the mobile data, the mobile networks here. We actually have some cell service here in this very remote area. I'm actually really impressed with that. But yeah. So yeah, shoot. Starlink is not working right now. I'm not necessarily convinced that it is going to work this summer. I don't know. The technology it isn't there yet, I think they released it before it was ready. But anyway, yeah. Again, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist here on Twitch, trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach in the best way that I know how. So here I am talking to you about fossils, about dinosaurs, about the history of life on our incredible planet, from one of the places where we learn about that, Doling's Bowl in Utah. So this is not the name of a town or a city or even a region. It is like basically a little valley here in the Utah desert. We are, I guess, north of Moab right now. The Colorado border is just over there. And there are dinosaurs strewn about all throughout here. So I'm pretty excited to share this with you. And Yai Quiddy says, "Hi Danny, how are you doing?" Is that you, Auntie Kathy? Welcome. Great to see you. Yeah, we have a good sunblock factor 1000. Birds are dead on, thank you. I did put on plenty of sunscreen today. It was wickedly hot today earlier. It must have been probably over 100. We got a little bit of cloud cover here, which is nice. Which I think is why it's safe for me to run this device without melting all of the wiring and everything. But yeah. Did you know that basically factor 30, SPF 30, is about as good as you need? I mean, anything above that, and I guess it's a logarithmic scale, or forget how that works. I was never a math guy. But basically everything above 30 is essentially the same. It matters far more how you apply the stuff and how thickly and how often you reapply it. That is much, much more important than the actual SPF, anything above 30. So yeah. 30 is what I use. But yeah.
They have given 150.
But welcome everybody. It is great to see you. Yeah. Nice, Hugo. Yep. It was a hot one today, definitely. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Hopefully it doesn't freeze too badly. What's our bandwidth like here? Shoot, we've got 2,200 kilobytes per second. That's not too shabby. There is my car down there, and my tent, and the Starlink setup with solar panels and batteries. And yeah, I wish I could be using that right now, if that worked as advertised, but it doesn't. So we're streaming off of the mobile data right now. And this, all throughout here, is beautiful outcrop of early Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation. So this is the time of Utahraptor and Cedarosaurus and a sauropod dinosaur that we're going to start digging up tomorrow called Mirasaurus, which was described from here not too long ago. So we're going to be working in the bone bed, digging up some of those critters, digging up some iguanodontians, these beaky plant-eating dinosaurs, big bulky guys, kind of similar to Iguanodon from the UK. And yeah. And I did mention Utahraptor, Izzy. I don't know if any Utahraptor material has come from this area, but this is about the right time for Utah raptor. There's another dinosaur. Its name is eluding me at the moment. Is it Yurgavishia? Which is another dromaeosaur, another what Jurassic Park fans might call a raptor dinosaur. That's from right over here too. And it's named after Helmut Doling. Helmut Doling was a Utah geologist, was and is, I believe. Must be getting up there in age. But he mapped so many different outcrops, and he really contributed to our understanding of the geology of Utah. And he actually discovered this area, like first mapped out this area, and that's why it bears his name. I think Jim Kirkland and Don DeBlue named it after him. So yeah, very, very cool. And there is definitely a breeze blowing at Ferret Fawcett, which is really nice. There wasn't much of a breeze earlier while it was devilishly hot, and it's nice to have that right now. So I just arrived here yesterday afternoon. We've got a crew of 7 people with us, led by Don DeBlue, who works at the Utah Geological Survey. He's been working this site, I think, since 2005, so a long time. Maybe 2007. Anyway, we'll have to ask him. Periodically, throughout the next couple weeks, I'd like to do some interviews with other crew members, and we're going to have some other paleontologists visiting us as well, and it'd be great to have them on camera and have them talk about what they work on, why it's important, and why it's so interesting. And share their passion for fossils with all of you at home, just like I do with you. So yeah. Bald Squirrel says, how do you shower in the desert? There's these wonderful things that I have I guess I've had them for every year in the field so far, called wet wipes. And so that's how I do a shower, with wet wipes. And thankfully I have plenty of those, which were actually contributed by our audience here on Twitch. So thank you, viewers, for helping keep me clean. I think that was last summer that those were sent to me from the Amazon wish list, so really appreciate that, everybody. Keeping me fresh and clean out here, to the extent that is possible. We don't have showers or anything. We don't have electricity. We don't have running water out here. Yeah, we do have a propane-powered refrigerator, which we use sparingly, and a bunch of water that we trucked in here. But apart from that, we're roughing it, you know. In a few minutes, we'll walk over toward camp, and I'll show you that. We'll try not to bother everybody. They're resting after today. Again, it was a really hot one today. We were out exploring the site, kind of seeing how things have changed over the past year. The sites have been worked continuously for a number of years, although this is my first time here. My first time working in the early Cretaceous of Utah. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah. Is there anywhere to pump up water around there? Nope, there's no wells around here, Dodo, as far as I know. Yeah. And I have a tent, Izzy. It is right down there. I'll show you again. Yeah. Let's see if that comes back over here. We're up to 4,000 now. It should be working from here. That's so strange. From right here on this spot, I walk 15 feet in that direction at the top of this hill, and it cuts out. I don't know what is up with that. Yeah, I'm hoping that it will continue to work along this ridge here. Usually high points on the landscape are better for cellular signal. So, video is working? Excellent. Yeah. No, Claire Burr. That blocks it? Oh, I really don't know. I know that phone calls work for me when I'm over there, so let's see if the signal works from over there too. Yeah. Yeah. Why are you saying Yeah. Let's see. Oh shoot, let's see. If I turn it this way, it might be that my body is blocking it. 359, 394. 412, 434. I might need to break out the signal booster and use that on the regular. That might help. I've got a backpack with a signal booster antenna and a whole setup like that. It's a pain in the butt to put together, but that might be how things have to work out here. Nope, and now we're working again. Shoot, so if I have the device pointed in that direction, towards civilization, or if Thompson Springs, Utah can be called civilization, yeah, then I think it might work. So maybe I'll kind of crab walk in that direction with my, with these cell modems facing over there, and maybe that'll work. Let's test this hypothesis now, shall we? I'm just gonna walk backwards. Yeah. I'm confused to goodness as how far are you from civilization, Danny? Pretty far. I mean, well, not as far as I've been in other places, like when I've been out in eastern Montana and areas like that. But yeah, shoot, probably, I'm guessing like 30 miles from the nearest town, something like that. Maybe more. Might be closer to 50 miles from the nearest town, which is basically just a little outpost. So yeah. Don't follow walking backwards. I'll try, green herring. I'll try. That'd be quite the clip, wouldn't it? Again, if I point this over here, see, we're up to 4,000 kilobytes per second like this, and if I turn around, it seems to drop down to about 200. So that's interesting. I'm hoping that the signal booster really helps out with this. Again, we're kind of testing the equipment today. This is proof of concept, and so far, apart from some hiccups, I'm happy with how this is going. Yeah. So I'm walking along the ridge here, and then the microphone is, come on, it's sagging. Everything in the heat like expands and is drooping. Oop, not as good right here. We're at 1,700, 1,500. It's dropping. Get a little bit higher on here, and we'll see if that helps. I think being up high seems to make a difference. Which, if that's the case, I might have to set up some kind of like shade tarp scenario thing up here in order to keep everything nice and cool if I do interviews or that kind of thing. But yeah. And Gale Tempest, I'm glad you can be here virtually too. Yeah. And awesome, jump into the ocean. I'm so glad that you appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Yeah. What are we at now? 2,000. It's getting a little better. So being up here seems to work okay. Yeah, I might try descending down there. So our site is further down in that direction. Unfortunately, if it were up high, it'd be easier to broadcast. But yeah. Again, there's Camp Anduza right down there. My tent and some solar. At all. There goes my microphone. Come on now. There we go. Hopefully that stays like that. There we go. And Gale Tempest says, why are your tents so spread out? That's just the way that this crew does it. They don't like to be all cheek by jowl. They spread them way apart from each other. So there's some other tents that are way out there beyond those bluffs. Yeah. There's another one behind me over there. People like their privacy on this crew, and that, you know, it's kind of nice. And Claireburst has so much room. Why have neighbors? Exactly. That was what Don was saying. Basically, we've got this humongous landscape before us. What point is there crowding everybody's tents together? You know, especially when some people snore and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll continue walking up in this direction, testing out the signal over here. It's even better over here. That's good. And there is our main camp right there. We've got a trailer, and we've got those kind of pop-up garages that we use for shade. And we've got the tables for cooking and eating and stuff under there. Yeah, there's the truck. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, and you'd love to get out there, heat and all. It's pretty cool out here, Jody Fish. Not temperature-wise, but in terms of science and yeah, doing cool stuff. It is definitely pretty cool. So yeah. So I think I'm trying to think about what I can talk about from up here. We're not going to be able to find any fossils while we're up here, but I can talk a little bit about the geology if you'd like to hear about that. Yeah. How much food do I have with me? Right now, none, TMK. It's all down there.
With sincere appreciation and gratitude.
But there's a good amount of food, probably about
100 bits.
a week or two's worth of food.
Is this the Morrison Formation?
Got lots of canned goods and, yeah, even some other stuff too. Like we had sandwiches for lunch today with cheese and cold cuts and lettuce and all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But there we go, Arle. Hey, good to see you. How you doing, Dad? Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, again, the Starlink is not working. I'm running off of mobile data right now. And, there's camp. All the way from California by way of the Midwest, like Indiana. And there's the Starlink satellite dish, again, not working. So much trouble with that thing. But luckily there's enough cellular data here that we can kind of make this work. Oh, except that it's cutting out again. Here, I gotta turn this way. Once I get the signal booster all set up, that should work a bit better. But I've got to turn the cell modems, I guess, towards civilization there. And, yeah. And Gail Tempest says...
extraordinary group of animals that have
wait for the signal to tick up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's getting that bandwidth probably from town up there. There's probably a transmission tower or something. If I point this toward it. Again, once we set things up with the signal booster, and I've got that like radio mast, it should work better. But yeah, that's why we do test streams like this, you know. And yeah, Mike B3D. No, the software update for Starlink still has not come through. I'm not convinced it's going to. I think that might be dead in the water. But yeah, again, we'll have to see. And holy cow, welcome Raiders from Predator CZ. What a cool name.
To talk about dinosaurs.
Welcome Raiders. It is great to have you here. Shoot, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and this is Paleontologizing. You rated in at a wonderful time. This is my first test stream from the field. I'm out here in the desert of eastern Utah. We'll be digging up some dinosaurs starting tomorrow. We just set up camp today, and yeah, I'm testing out the streaming gear. There's going to be some cool stuff going on here in the next couple weeks, so welcome to Paleontologizing. So good to have you here, yeah. But yeah. And too bad you can't get a portable cell tower / repeater out here. No, that's what I have, Angel Silhouette. I have a signal booster, which I'll be setting up tomorrow, I guess. And hopefully that works like it has in the past. It does use a lot of juice, but I've got solar panels here and portable battery packs, and we should be able to make that work. So yeah. But yeah. And Vedator actually means science guy, my dear colleague. Oh, welcome, Vedator, fellow science person. It is great to have you here. Science outreach is what I do full time nowadays, and I've always dreamed of being able to do some live streams from the field out here digging up dinosaurs. It looks like that might just work. So yeah. Welcome to our first test stream for fieldwork live outreach. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. And let's see. Hang on a minute. And Lordy, holy cow! Welcome, welcome, Lordy and Raiders. It's great to have you here. Welcome to our first fieldwork live stream. I hope you had a wonderful stream, Lordy. I hope it went, I hope you had fun. And if anybody's not yet following Cooking with Lordy, what are you waiting for? She does all kinds of cool stuff here on Twitch, crafting and cooking, and it's just a very chill time. So check her out. And also check out Vedator, whom I'm not familiar with, but I bet you they are pretty cool, and it sounds like they do some science-related stuff, so welcome Vedator and Raiders as well. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. And Gary and Kelly says, looks like heaven out there, except they don't have proper survival training. It's not necessary to have survival training in a place like this. We've got a crew of some very capable, very cool people. Right now we've got 7 people on the crew, myself included. A number of students and other paleontologists. So yeah. And for some people, it is their first time out in the field. So, yeah.
With sincere appreciation and gratitude,
this is cool.
thank you very much
cool
for the 100 bits.
I need to get back to work.
Yeah, and
Have
holy
a great
cow,
stream.
Aya Kane, thank you for the 12 months of
Carrot
support. Really appreciate
_
that.
carrot.
Yeah. And Angel, thank you for the 100 bits. That is lovely. Thank you for your support, everybody. That's great. Shoot, I'm standing kind of weird right now because I've got
With sincere
the
appreciation
modems and everything
gratitude, thank
trying
you
to
very
face
much for the 100
towards
bits.
civilization because it's the only way I can really get signal here until I set up the signal booster. We're kind of walking backwards like a weirdo here. But yeah. Very cool. So again, I am Billings Bowl in eastern Utah. Way out in the middle of nowhere. But that's often where we find dinosaur fossils. It was a very hot day today. We just went out to kind of look at one of the sites. It was too hot to really set up the shade tarps in the heat of the day or anything, so we'll be doing that tomorrow morning. And then we'll start digging. We've got some sauropod dinosaurs that we're going to be finding some elements from, probably some iguanodontians, and some other stuff, so it's pretty exciting. This is the early Cretaceous period, the Cedar Mountain Formation here in Utah. So this is basically the very beginning of the Cretaceous, kind of the dawn of a new age. The Cedar Mountain Formation overlies the Morrison, where we were a couple days ago at Dinosaur National Monument. Cedar Mountain, shoot, it's really long. It goes from about, I think, 125 million years ago until something like 90, so yeah, that's a solid chunk of time comprised in the Cedar Mountain Formation. And the most famous dinosaur from the Cedar Mountain's got to be Utahraptor, which everybody seems to know about, even in the general public. But I've also got dinosaurs like Gastonia, this big armored dinosaur. We've got iguanodontians, things like shoot, I'm forgetting some of their names right now. Iguanocolossus is a memorable name, though. That's from the Cedar Mountain. It's an iguanodontian. And, yeah, we've got a sauropod dinosaur here, too, which we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Hopefully we'll start finding elements from it. And that is called Mirasaurus. So, yeah, Miarasaurus. Mirasaurus. That's how Don said it. So, yeah.
To our own existence, for that matter.
Awesome. Yeah. Ready for some science today? Awesome, Tarquin. It is great to have you here. I'm not sure how much I can actually walk around at present. This is a test stream, and I think if I go down into the valley there, we might lose you. But we can try it. Again, once I get the signal booster set up with that antenna mast, it should hopefully work a lot better. We should get stronger signal. But I'm lucky that we've got anything at all, frankly, because Starlink so far has completely failed us. Yeah, we're just back to mobile data live streaming, and it's working so far. If anybody's got any questions, do not hesitate. And if I missed one of your questions, I apologize. Feel free to retype it. We'll do some Q&A.
1,000 bits can make a wonderful difference in promoting the appreciation and understanding
like doe,
of fossil
like a
science
deer,
here
a female
on
deer.
Twitch.
Doeling's Bowl, Doelling apostrophe S, bowl. So yeah. There you go, Claire Burr, that's it. Yep. So yeah, pretty excited about that. I'm sure I'll put that in the title for the next stream or whatever. but I wanted to be very clear that this is a test stream today in case things go horribly wrong, in case we lost signal immediately or something like that. So how hot is it there, says Tarquin? It's probably in the high 80s right now, but earlier today it must have been close to 100, maybe higher. Yeah, it was very, very hot earlier. I actually switched to my sun helmet because it was too hot for a leather hat, really. And man, that felt good to switch to that. Anytime there was the slightest breeze, sun helmet really captures it. Yeah, let's see. And there you go, Barnacle Bone. Right? Drop of golden sun. Wish we had maybe a smaller drop of sun for today. It was a hot one. And there you go, Miracle Schmiracle. Yep, Gastonia. And Erica's Claudius Monti has a great question. They want to know, what is the capstone on that plateau? So, I'm glad you asked. That is an excellent question. So again, here we're in the Cedar Mountain Formation, early Cretaceous period. And so we've got some mudstones leading up to that, but that capstone at the top, the one that seems to be more resistant to radiation, or not, excuse me, resistant to radiation, resistant to erosion. That is called the poison strip member of the Cedar Mountain. We've got 4 major, geologic strata here in the Cedar Mountain. We've got the Yellow Cat at the bottom. Above that, we've got the Ruby Ranch, if I remember correctly. Above that is the Poison Strip, and then above that is the Mustn't Touch It. And along here, we might have some Mustn't Touch It up there, but it's not really exposed in these horizons. It's been eroded away. So the Poison Strip sandstone up there, that's the capstone that you see up there. That I don't think has a great wealth of dinosaur fossils, but certainly the Yellow Cat member has a lot, and the Mustn't Touch It has a lot. I'm not sure about the Ruby Ranch. I think the Ruby Ranch might be a little bit more sparse too. But yeah, so we're mostly working in the Yellow Cat from what I understand. Although I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we actually do some digging. So yeah, you're exactly right, Erica's Claudius Monti. That's mudstone up there. Up until you get to those sandstone benches. But yeah, desert cooking stream would be great, Bald Squirrel. Maybe, yeah. I'll have to see. So other members of the crew, they didn't necessarily sign up to be live streamed this summer, but I'm going to ask them if they might like to participate in some stuff, because we've got some very cool people on our crew. And in the interest of science, education, and outreach, some of them might be amenable to appearing on stream as well. We might even, well, who knows what's going to happen. We'll have to see. I don't want to promise anything and not be able to deliver. And Isabel, thank you for the hydrate. I appreciate that. I will go get some water down there in a little bit. The signal might cut out when I do it, but yeah. Just Jurassic Park. Yo, you like Podokesaurus? Oh, very cool. Yeah, Podokesaurus. That's the little coelophysoid, I think, from Massachusetts, is it? Yeah, very cool. Shoot, my favorite. I've got a number of favorite dinosaurs. I actually have a command for that. I get that question all the time. There's a few. It's hard to choose. Triceratops is definitely up there, but yeah. But check out that command there. Lenina, thank you so much for the gift subs. Really appreciate that support. Yeah. And Jody Fish says the Mustn't Touch It. It sounds like that, but it's all one word. It's like MUSSENTUCHIT. Mustn't touch it. I don't know the etymology there. I don't know the origin of that term, but it definitely has been touched by geologists and paleontologists alike. So yeah. And I appreciate that, Isabel. I will go get some water at some point. This is not going to be a super long stream or anything, because we're just kind of testing things here. But yeah. And there you go. Yeah, Erica's Claudius Monti. The Yellow Cat is the oldest one. So yeah. And Neolithic Fool, thank you so much for those gift subs. Really, really appreciate that. That is wonderful. Yeah. Very cool. And Bree or Thor, thank you for saying this is awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Shoot, what we're going to do is, let's see, I'm going to go walk down there and get a little bit of water because people are pestering me about that. We will lose the signal when I do that. So don't worry, I will be right back in just a second. So yeah. And Isabel, that was Podokesaurus. That was from Massachusetts. I think it's recently been named their official state dinosaur. There's not a whole lot to choose from in Massachusetts, honestly. So it would either be that or Ankylosaurus, I think, which honestly might have been a better choice. It's known for more material. But yeah,
really spectacular. Spared no expense.
And Brie Arthur says, I love dinosaurs, so this is absolutely amazing. Well, I hope you stick around, Brie. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. That's what I do here on Twitch. I talk about paleontology with a strong focus on dinosaurs. That's my wheelhouse. I'll be digging up some dinosaurs tomorrow, and if things go right, we'll see what we can stream here. I've got to clear things with my crew chief, and we've got to test out some equipment and see if that's possible to... We'll see what's possible. I'll leave it at that. But yeah. And Ferret Fawcett, it very well might be, an Indian tribe name. I'm not sure. Level 4 complete. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Really appreciate that. I just said I was going to go get some water, so let me go do that. The stream probably will cut out. So hang tight, everybody. And hang on just a moment here. I'll readjust this for walking down and partly sliding down this. Okay, signal's getting better.
With sincere appreciation and gratitude, thank you very much for the 100 bits.
There we go. I think we're getting back to normal now. Yeah, excellent. We're back. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Want to get some water, and I'm back on top of the ridge. So, down there on the valley floor, no signal. We're down to practically 0 kilobytes per second down there. So it looks like I've got to be up here to be able to stream without the signal booster. We'll see. Hopefully that signal booster is a game changer. But yeah. Anyway, the flies here have been kind of not ideal. But yeah. An interesting barnacle bum. That's what Google says. I've always heard it pronounced mustn't touch it, but it's a geologic term. That might be different from like a place name. The geologic, like that member of the Cedar Mountain Formation, is probably named after a particular place, and maybe Google is right about that. Maybe that original place has got that pronunciation. But the geologic unit, the top part of the Cedar Mountain, we call it the mustn't touch it. That's how it's pronounced. Yeah, and of course I wear sunscreen. Iconic song, definitely, yeah. Put a bunch on this morning, and when I was about to start this stream, there was a bunch of cloud cover, and that's kind of cleared up since I started. So if I were to do a really long stream today, I would reapply sunscreen, but that's not in the cards for right now. Yeah. And iOS, this is not Starlink. Starlink has not worked at all for us so far. That's the dish down there. That thing's been worse than useless so far. This is via mobile data right now. So yeah. But great to see you, iOS. Wonderful to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've been having some good streams. If anybody's not yet following iOS, you're missing out. She, oddly enough, on this platform on Twitch, she does something kind of unusual. She does video games. So if you happen to be part of that very small subculture of people who play video games, especially here on Twitch, check out her channel. She does really cool stuff. She's like a connoisseur of games, and she can help you appreciate them as the art form that they are. I know she did that for me. Before I was like, oh, video games, whatever, commercial stuff. But no, there's a lot there, and she'll help you appreciate that. So give her a follow over at twitch.tv/ios. So yeah.
The world's first armored tank, you might say.
Yeah. And Paleo Mom, you're here too. Holy cow, everybody's here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Shoot, let me do a quick little intro for anybody who's just walking in right now. My name is Danny Anduza. This is Paleontologizing, and I'm here in the deserts of eastern Utah, the place called Doling's Bowl, and we're going to be digging dinosaurs starting tomorrow. We set up camp today. There's my trusty field vehicle down there.
No expense.
My modified Toyota Prius. There's my tent. There's the Starlink setup.
The Lenina gifted a tier 1 sub to Paleomom 357. And they have given 155
all around us are these beautiful sedimentary rocks from the early Cretaceous period, the Cedar Mountain Formation. These are some of the earliest terrestrial Cretaceous rocks in Utah, and I think a very underappreciated set of strata. Despite being, where Utah Raptor came from, and everybody loves Utah Raptor, the Cedar Mountain Formation doesn't get nearly enough popular attention. And, we've got so many cool dinosaurs here, though, and we'll be talking about them for the next week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. So, yeah. But, yeah. And holy cow, Lenina, thank you for gifting Paleo Mom. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, Mom. It's good to see you. And, yeah. And I have not dug here before, Briorthorn. No, this is my first time here. This is actually my first time doing real field work in Utah. Most of the field work that I've done has been in Montana, where I used to live. So this is all new to me. I've also never worked in rocks of this formation before. Yeah, this is new stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. Living the dream indeed, Trappy Jenkins. And great to see you, by the way. Welcome. Yeah. How long have people been digging at this spot, Tarquin? That's a great question. So, Don DeBlue, who is a Utah Geological Survey paleontologist, he has been working this area, I think, since 2007, I want to say. He was one of the original discoverers of bone in this area. And it turned out to be really, really important. There have been a number of new dinosaurs that have been described from this particular spot, like, less than a quarter mile from where I'm standing right now. So yeah, very cool stuff. One of those is a sauropod dinosaur called Miarasaurus. That's M-I-E-R-A Saurus, I think, M-I-E-R-A. And we'll be digging up some more elements from that this week, maybe even starting tomorrow. So yeah. But yeah. And this is not inside Arches National Park, Jody Fish. No, I think we're north of there? I don't know. Not exactly sure. I think Arches is down near Moab. So I think we're far north of that here. Yeah. But just like in Arches National Park and Moab, Utah, it gets very, very hot here. I wonder what today's high was. We should make that a feature on the stream, as I'll take out the weather radio, and which I think we got from Patrick Pirate and Engine Nerd, two of our loyal viewers here, and we'll listen to what Stephen Hawking tells us over the weather radio. But yeah, and Miarasaurus. There you go, Clearburr. Yep, very cool, very, very cool. So yeah, exciting stuff. This is beautiful territory, it really is. And you can see why this area is called Doling's Bowl, because this is just a big bowl-like depression here. And so when it rains, which is rare here, but sometimes there's a lot of rain all at once, and that's about it for the whole year, you get these big torrents of water that come through here, including through that wash down there. So you can just imagine all this water running through that wash there and carrying lots of sediment with it and doing some erosion. Some of the sites that we're going to be working, we actually have to think really long and hard about what the water's going to be doing when it goes through there. We have to try and engineer for that. So like creating berms, digging trenches, like creating ways to redirect that water so it doesn't go through the bone bed and destroy our fossils, So that's one of the things we're going to be working on tomorrow. So yeah, Mr. Fossil says look for anthills. Yeah, there have been plenty of anthills around here. You get big old harvester ants, but unfortunately, the whole collecting fossils from anthills thing probably doesn't work so well around here, because this area is not known for microfossils. Not like the Hell Creek or the Tulloch Formation or anything like that, or even the Judith. I don't think we've got a lot of microfossils from this area. Might have been I'm not sure exactly why. Something to do with the depositional environment. And Gary and Kellis, oh, if you say so. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. And, and very cool invisible dimensions. I did not know that. Yeah. Natural beavers that redirecting. There you go, Moosey Fate. Yeah. And Valiant Cheese, how are you doing? Great to see you here. And Izzy Black says microfossil. What are microfossils? So microfossils, like the name implies, Izzy Black, are small fossils. In the Mesozoic era and the age of dinosaurs, some of the most sought-after microfossils would be things like the bones and especially the teeth of little mammals. You'd get things like fish scales, salamander bones, lizard jaws, all kinds of stuff like that. Little tiny fossils we call microfossils. And the way that we find those is also through prospecting, so you find them on the surface. But sometimes if you know you've got an area that's kicking out a lot of microfossils, you'll get some shovels and you'll just shovel a bunch of that sediment into a bag, and you'll bring it to a place where you've got water and you'll screen wash it. Use like a big sieve, basically, to screen it. You try and wash away all the sandstone. It's usually sandstone. And, and then you're just left with a bunch of little pebbles with important little fossils in between. Then you pick through that, pick the fossils out, and you study them. So, microfossils, yeah. Sometimes, though, ants will actually collect microfossils for you because they're looking for dense, resilient material that they can use to put over the top of their ant mound to protect it from the elements. So sometimes ants will actually do that hard work of finding, for instance, mammal teeth for you. They'll collect them, they'll deposit them on top of their ant mounds, and you could just pluck them right off. And hopefully you are grateful to the ants and, leave them some crushed up crackers or, pieces of fruit or candy or something to compensate them for their hard work. But yeah. So yeah. Very cool. Anyway, and yeah, so as Arlay was saying, my Starlink setup is down there. It is not working. I'm not sure it's going to work. They say that it needs to be plugged in for 72 hours straight in order to update the software. But I don't have 72 hours worth of juice for it. It draws way too much power. It's an electricity hog. And so I've been trying to get it to update since I got here, basically, yesterday afternoon. And it just keeps running through those battery packs like nobody's business. So yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna work at all. I'm not gonna hook it up to a generator or anything. So yeah. So we're working off mobile data right now. I'll keep trying with the Starlink. Maybe it'll work, but I don't have high hopes for it right now, honestly. Yeah. But yeah. Does it have to update in place, says Claire Burr? Yes, that's what they told me, is that it has to update in place. And maybe they're wrong about that. When customer support finally got back to me, they said it has to be from the service address, which I marked for this area. And, yeah. I don't know. 72 hours is also a long time. It's not like I can just go get a hotel somewhere for 72 hours and stick it out the window. That wouldn't work either. Believe me, I tried when I was in Vernal, Utah. Didn't work. And Invisible Dimension says, for the future, would a solar generator work? No, I've got solar panels down there. I'll show you. They don't provide enough electricity for it. Like, the thing uses way too much juice. It's a real power hog. So, yeah. Yeah, there's one panel down there. And there's the other behind my tent. Yeah, I suppose I could go into town and see if I could buy a power inverter and try and run it from the car and just have the car constantly running. But that also doesn't seem ideal. Yep. Should be good signal now. It shows 2,700 kilobytes per second. Excellent. Good. And there's a little bit of a delay with chat too. So yeah. Anyway, it's so good to be here. It's so good to have, be able to talk shop with other paleontologists. This has been really, really nice. I'm here, with my people. And now, given that this is working for the most part, I get to share part of it with you too. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to do some broadcasts from the valley floor as well, not just here up on the ridge. Because, that would be really, really neat to be able to maybe, fingers crossed, even show you some excavations. That was originally the idea with Starlink, but that's not working. So we're improvising here. Yeah. Yeah. Why give up on Starlink? I'm not giving up, it's just not working. I'm still trying to use it. The darn thing just isn't working though. It's a whole thing. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a well-run company. That's my main takeaway. Their customer support is lousy. The instructions are like super rudimentary. Reminds me of, Anyway. Starlink gave up on me, exactly. Paley Mom says drink water. I just did, Mom. I just did a few minutes ago. Please don't worry. And you wouldn't believe the amount of water that I drank today. It was nuts. And I agree, those clouds are beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. Jess, they're pretty spectacular. We get some lovely, lovely clouds here during the day, when there are clouds. There was none earlier. It was just blazing hot. Cloudless sky. We also get lovely, lovely stars here at night. It seemed like I probably spotted maybe a dozen different satellites last night and probably twice as many shooting stars. It was really cool being able to see the Milky Way again. It's been a long time since I've experienced that. So, I used to get that every night when I would do field work regularly during the summers. So it's good to be back, I'm in my element again. Even if this is a different site and everything. What is it like at night? It's dark, Izzy Black. It is dark and quiet. I was kind of surprised when I got here at the lack of wildlife. I haven't seen a single mammal so far since we got here, apart from my crewmates. I've seen 2 lizards. Mostly we've just got flies. I saw 1 grasshopper today, but no pronghorn, no deer. No elk. No ground squirrels, no prairie dogs, none of the stuff that I'm used to seeing when I'm out in the Hell Creek in Montana. I couldn't hear any coyotes last night, and I don't think I've seen a single bird so far since I got here yesterday afternoon. I did see a big old bat last night. It was flying right around my head, doing good work, catching insects. But I've not seen a single bird so far. This is a remarkably desolate place in terms of extant wildlife. But for your fossils, we've got many, many dinosaurs here, and I'm so excited to share some of these with you later on over the next few days and weeks. So just what you want, the company of flies. Yeah, Moosey Fate. Goodness. The flies are... Usually they're not biting flies, they look like house flies. They just go and they land on you, and it's like, go away. And they come back. Go away. And they come back. It's just, Las Moscas. I don't like them. But I don't know, it's a lot better than in the Hell Creek. It's been a lot worse. You get big old horse flies and stuff like that, and things that are biting the cattle nearby. Here there's no cattle, and so the biting flies that usually accompany them also don't really seem to be here. So yep. And the flies are excited. They haven't had visitors for a while. I think you're right, Action Potential. I think you're right. Yeah. This is not a spot that's well known for... I don't know. You don't get a lot of people coming through here. We can't stay here. This is bad country. Reno, there you go. And Captain Vaco, hey, thank you. I appreciate... There's one of those flies now. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your kind words. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. And I am used to desert flies being bitey, Moosey Fate. Yeah, here they're just... I don't know. It's like they just want attention. But yeah. And yep, Trappy Jenkins, I've had plenty of sunscreen today. I got my SPF 30, and I applied it twice today, so that's been good. California Burbs, how are you doing? Welcome. Yeah. We're gonna need a Starlink command to explain why it doesn't work. Shoot. I mean, hopefully, I don't know. I haven't completely given up on it. I'm still gonna try and get it to work. But the thing is, and if it doesn't do that, then the thing's so yeah. I was hoping I could just need it or don't need it, but support, when they finally got back to me, says, "Oh no, you need to plug it in for 72 hours for it to It's like, well, shoot, I don't have the juice for 72 hours. The thing's a power hog. So yeah. That would have been nice, back when I was going to be in an area for more than 72 hours. I could leave it plugged in one place. Yeah, they were way too slow to get back to me. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. And DNH says, need solar panels? I have solar panels. Let me show you. They're right down there. The solar panels are not enough. It needs more electricity than that. Again, it's a power hog. So I've got 2 big solar panel arrays, and then there's the dish right there, and it's not good enough. Not good enough for Starlink. It needs more power than that. So yeah. But yeah. Why does it even need 72? I have no idea, Miracle. I'm not even sure if that's true. It sounds like one of those things that that support tells you that's like kind of halfway true. So I don't know. But yeah, need a generator, says DNH. We do have a generator here, but I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to run a generator for 72 hours, How would I even get gas for it? Would I siphon it out of my... I guess I do have a full tank of gas, but I'm not going to be siphoning gas out of my car to put into a generator to run a Starlink device that's super power hungry. Yeah, get more batteries or panels? Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing, is that I ordered that thing last, January of 2021, and yeah, didn't get any response from them. Never heard a peep. Then I get back from a road trip last summer, and the device is there on my doorstep. Like, shoot, I'm super glad it didn't get stolen, especially in the neighborhood that I live in. Yeah, and so I just had this thing waiting there for, a full year, basically. Oops, phone straps are coming undone. And I was really excited to take it out to the field this summer. And yeah, and then I did and tried to set it up a few weeks ago to do like a test run. Wasn't working. Contacted customer support and said, hey, it's not working. It says I should contact you because the software is out of date. And they get back to me a week later. It was already way too late. It took them 7 days to respond. And they say, oh, you need to plug it in for 72 hours straight at the service address. So shoot, I tried to do that when I got here yesterday. Don't have enough juice for 72 hours. So yeah. But yeah. And I've not gotten refunded for the year of service either, but we'll see about that. I don't know. I don't mean to be complaining about this thing. I'm just trying to explain to you why we're running off of cell data here. And again, I'm super grateful that we've got cell data here. Apparently this was not a thing here in previous years. People who have worked this site before say that, they didn't have service except maybe at the top of those tall ridges in years prior. So I guess some of the cell networks have expanded their range, and here we are. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Pretty cool. So let me know if anybody else has any questions about this site or about what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks or anything, because I want to answer those, and then I got to cool off and get some water and check in with the rest of the crew. I think we're going to be making dinner soon, so I don't want to miss that. But yeah. Anyway, Mr. Fossil says record days without streaming and upload them on YouTube. We'll see. That's a lot of work. And I mean, I don't think people understand how much work goes into doing pre-recorded stuff and then editing it and then uploading it and all that. I'm going to try and do as many live streams as I can. Also, this is my primary means of really my almost sole means of making money, and I don't make any money off of YouTube. It's all through Twitch. So it'd be a lot of work for basically zero reward. So yeah, I can't afford to do that. I'm not going to starve myself. But yeah. Do I have a specific dig site that I'm working on? Athena Cat? Yeah. So down there on the valley floor, we've got some different dinosaurs that we're going to be digging. We've got some Mierosaurus, which are these sauropod dinosaurs from the early Cretaceous of Utah. We've got some ankylosaurs, one of which, well, several of which actually might all belong to a new species, which is pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, we're going to see what else starts coming out. These are some well-established sites. We know that we've got good fossils from there. We've got several new kinds of dinosaur that are described from right over here, less than a quarter mile away, is this area with these different quarries that these dinosaurs have come out of. And we know there's a lot more bone in there, and so we're going to be digging into that starting tomorrow. And I'll be happy to report some of our findings. And if we're super lucky, and if I can get the signal booster to work and all that stuff, we might even be able to stream from the site. But yeah, no promises on that, you know? First of all, I got to make sure it's okay with the crew chief. And then second of all, got to see if the equipment actually works properly. If we're able to get enough signal from down there on the valley floor. This whole stream I've had to be up here on the high grounds, because it's the only place where I get signal good enough. Grateful. I'm super. This works. Yeah. Yeah, and Miracle, would there be anything fossil related on top of the hills themselves? Maybe. I mean, I could try going way up to the top of there. We should get. I can go hike up to the top of that ridge and do a stream from up there. But yeah, those were sites that were actually, they are down there in the valley floor. At the bottom of the bowl. This area is called Doling's because it's a bowl-shaped depression in early Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation rocks. So yeah, and I've seen 2 lizards as a couldn't identify it. The second one was much larger. Although that one is also too large for me to be able to see the collar, so I can't know for sure. The overall body shape looked a lot like a collar lizard, like I've seen in Arizona. So, yeah. I love lizards, so it always makes me happy to see them. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And, some nice blues, says Mr. Fossil. Rocks, yeah, there definitely are. So the different colors of the rocks that we get here correspond to different levels and different, I guess, types of iron infused in the rock. So these various reds that we get are from iron there in the sediment, and some of the blues and greens are also iron doing different cool and interesting things in the rock. And you've probably got, I don't know, manganese and or magnesium and feldspar and, you know, sodium chloride, stuff like that too. Lots of salt in some of these rocks. And Loki says, every time you move the phone around to show us something, the screen goes blue and white and we lose you. Let me try that again. We'll test that hypothesis. Because I don't think it's that. I think it's me moving my butt that's doing that. Where the mobile encoder and the modems. Oops. Yeah, the microphone is sprung off again. Yeah. Let me try moving the camera around and we'll see if that's the issue. While I keep my hips still. There we go. Did you lose me there? This is good data, yeah. But yeah. But yeah, lizards are excellent, and I agree, nothing more, I agree. Yeah. No loss? Yeah, see, let me try turning my body around. And we'll see if that... Here, I'll put the camera here. We'll go like this, and we'll see if we lose the signal.
Here's something stranger than science fiction. Prehistoric fact.
All right. There it went. Yep, see? There we go. I got to have the modems pointed north towards civilization in order for this to work. Oop. And those flies, man. The flies here are they're not accustomed to being swatted at. So like almost every time you swat, you end up killing one. They're so slow. They're not very effective at their job. But yeah. But yeah, mystery solved, says Benny Hill. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, I just got to make sure the modems are pointed in that direction while we do this. And hopefully this will be resolved once I get the signal booster up and running. I've got a signal booster backpack, and that should help things. That should help things to an appreciable extent. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, there goes my microphone again. I got to find a way to keep it from doing that. Here in the heat, it just... all the plastic and everything starts to expand and get soft, and yeah, it's not as well behaved as it usually is. Yeah. Can I put the modem pack on the ground? No, Jody Fish, then we'd lose the signal entirely. It's got to be raised up. That's the thing.
Alone. You have to share it.
And Gary Oster says, can we talk about the geology? Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but I'll go over it again. And Beth14 fan, thank you so much for the 2 months of support. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. And Mayor Spaces, in the future, you could station an antenna on a hill and have it relayed down to you wherever you're digging. Well, that's what Starlink is supposed to be for. And it's not working. So, yeah. That's it down there next to my car. So, yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the geology here. I think if I go like this, we should be able to see, and the modems are still pointed toward town. Good. But up there, this whole area is called Doling's Bowl. And so this is named after Helmut Doling, who is a geologist here in Utah, mapped out a bunch of these different areas, including this one. And I think he was one of the first people to realize that we might have early Cretaceous Cedar Mountain Formation right here. And so Utah State paleontologist Jim Kirkland came to this area because he was interested in dinosaurs from the Cedar Mountain. He decided to explore here and see if he could find any, along with Don DeBlue, a paleontologist leading this current excursion. He's our crew chief. Anyway, they came here and started looking around, and sure enough, they found a bunch of dinosaur fossils. Most of them right down there. And again, I cannot keep this in place. I gotta like tape it or something. That's ridiculous. Yeah, shoot. I gotta design and print a better microphone holder for this rig next summer. Yeah, right down there. We've got a bunch of amazing dinosaur fossils from here. So this is the Cedar Mountain Formation, as I said. These are terrestrial sediments from the early Cretaceous period. They date from about 125 million years ago to about 90 or so. There's a lot of time represented in the Cedar Mountain. And right here we've got three of the major members of the Cedar Mountain exposed. We've got the Yellow Cat member, which is the valley floor here, and going up a little bit onto there. And then we've got the Ruby Ranch, which is further up on the hill there. And then those capstones you see at the top, those sandstone ridges, those bluffs. See the sandstone at the very top of that? Looks very erosion resistant. That is the Poison Strip member. So it goes Yellow Cat, Ruby Ranch, Poison Strip, and then at the top, Mustn't Touch It. And there's a little bit of Mustn't Touch It right up there, I think above the Poison Strip. And then you can see more up there too. So yeah. From the bottom, the Yellow Cat member, we've got dinosaurs like Utahraptor. We've got iguanodontians. So these beaky plant-eating dinosaurs like Iguanocolossus is from here. And maybe even a species of iguanodon. Not quite so sure about that. We've got sauropod dinosaurs like Mierosaurus, and we're going to be digging tomorrow, I think. And there's other stuff still yet to be found. There seems to be a new kind of ankylosaur, a new kind of armored dinosaur in there too. So pretty excited, yeah. Oh, and Isabel has a great question. Thank you for reposting it, Claire. I appreciate it. How does the day work at a dig? Do you just dig in the morning before it gets hot? Oops, chat's scrolling too fast. Do you dig in the morning so you aren't out in the hot afternoon? Is everyone digging at once? What are your tools? Just the brushes? Lots of great questions there. I hope to show you a lot of this stuff, maybe in the next couple days and weeks. But yeah, normally we dig throughout the day.
With sincere
We'll get out there by like 9 a.m. or something.
Thank you very much for the 100 bits.
We'll be working under shade tarps. So we've got some shade during the day. It'll still be ridiculously hot, but at least we have shade. We won't get quite as hot. We won't have to drink as much water. We won't be as exhausted at the end of the day. The shade counts for a lot. And I think we've got a crew of 7 people right now. I think we're going to be working a couple of different little quarries in the same general area. So we'll be just a stone's throw from each other, but I think we're going to kind of split up and dig up some different dinosaurs between us. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, we come back to camp. We have a hot dinner, which is nice to have, like one hot meal every day. And then, yeah, when the sun goes down, we just kind of chat, socialize around camp, and we go to bed, and then it starts over again, Every day is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have different weather. We're going to find different bones. Some days we're not going to find any bones. Yeah. No 2 days are the same out here. That's why it always seems like time moves more slowly out in the field. Also, there's far fewer distractions. We don't have like social media. We don't have television. That's stuff that might normally kind of make your day go by a lot faster and kind of make one day fade to the next. We don't have that here, Every day's a little bit different, and not as many distractions. It's easier to focus on things. Yeah. Being out in the field is all about being detail-oriented. And your days that have more details are usually the ones that feel longer. So does that make sense? Yeah. But yeah. Oh man, this microphone is really bugging me. Stay. I have some tape down in the car. Maybe I'll tape it on for the next stream. But yeah, Engineer says, I was curious how the balance between focusing on the dig and split focus with streaming. I'm going to see how much I can mix the two together. We'll see how much the technology permits that, and also the science that we're working on. Again, I don't want to show any things that are like unpublished or anything like that yet. Nothing that's like sensitive material to the extent that stuff can be in paleontology. But yeah, how many days am I going to be digging at this site? And is it public land? This is public land. This is BLM, Bureau of Land Management, BLM land, which is federal land we're working on now. So all of these fossils are going to go to the U.S. Geological Survey and I think be reposited at the University of Utah up in Salt Lake City. So yeah, public land. I almost always work on public land for public institutions. And how many days are we going to be digging? Asked Triceratops. This crew is going to be here for about 3 weeks, starting with yesterday. And I might be here for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. We'll have to see how streaming goes. And yeah, it's actually kind of nice to have that sort of flexibility, And I'll also talk to my crew chief, and as things go on, we'll see how much help he needs. Because we've got a lot of new people on this crew. So yeah, I'm going to try and show them the ropes to the extent that is appropriate and everything. I am kind of new here. I am a guest here. I've never worked in these rocks before. But a lot of my skills and expertise are going to be transferable from working in the Hell Creek and the Judith River formations, Frontier Formation, stuff like that. So yeah. And night digging or no go, DNH, no. There's no daylight for that. So yeah. And I've definitely been staying hydrated, Patrick Pirate. Thank you. I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon, but because I do need to go get some water, and then I've got to go check on the rest of the crew. I think they're making dinner soon, and I don't want to miss dinner. As much as I enjoy streaming and talking to all of you good folks, I don't want to miss out on a hot meal tonight. But yeah, What's the chance of dying from dehydration? Hopefully pretty low, Kappa. Yeah, hopefully pretty low, although the air is very dry here. Somebody can pull up the weather command. Pull it up for, say, Thompson Springs, Utah. I think that's the nearest town. Check the humidity level. Yeah, and gonna have an amazing farmer's tan. I hope not Gale Tempest. I hope I can get more or less a full tan to the extent that is appropriate. We'll see. I'm sick of getting farmer's tans in the field. How long a person stays on a dig, is it seasonal or bi-weekly? It depends. So different volunteers will come here and stay for various lengths of time. We've got people who are out for a week. We've got people who are out for a few days. We've got people who are going to be out here for 3 weeks, or the duration of the dig. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing yet. Still on the fence about that. It depends on a lot of different things. But I'll definitely be here, I think, for the next week. Yeah. Any longer than that, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. And does the weather command do meteors? No, it does not, DNH, unfortunately. Yeah. Current humidity is 15%. There you go. 96 degrees. Yep. Yeah. That sounds about right. But yeah. And hopefully new dinosaurs, says DNH. I hope so too. I hope we get enough material of that ankylosaur this year that Don and Jim and some other people are able to name it. We're going to get some visits from some other star paleontologists over the next couple weeks too. Jim Kirkland, who's the state paleontologist of Utah, is going to be joining us over the weekend, I hear. And Rebecca Hunt Foster might also be joining us too, which I'm pretty excited about. We interviewed her. Some of you, longtime viewers, remember our interview with RHF, Rebecca Hunt Foster, back in May of 2020, I think it was. May of 2021, sorry. Last May. Not this past one, but the one before. She's going to be here too. She's super awesome, so I'm excited to see her. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So yeah. And not that ankylosaur from the intro videos. No, Claire Bird, that was way up in Montana. Down in Utah now. So yeah. Anyway, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. My mouth is getting kind of dry. I need to get some more water. So let's see who else is on Twitch right now, and we'll see if we can do a raid with this limited connectivity that we have. Ooh. What flies. I think this is going to work. Who have we got?
You're not doing
Let's
so bad yourself.
Mr. Orologist is streaming. Science Streams is streaming. We're going to go raid Science. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Raid Science. No, it's Science, not Sco-Ants. Science _ Streams, not Seareams. It's hard to type with one hand holding this in the sun with all this glare, but I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for kind of a scuffed stream today, but I hope you had fun. I'm so glad this works, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more streams. Hopefully a little bit more involved than this one once we get the signal booster working. Yeah, but I'm pretty excited, and I hope you are too. Doing some live dinosaur paleontology from the field here on Twitch. Should be the first Twitch live streamed dinosaur dig ever, I think. And you were here for the very first one, the test stream. So pat yourselves on the back. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much for your support, for your good questions, for your enthusiasm. Thank you for supporting me financially for this too. I could not do this without you. So thank you, everybody. Now without further ado, we're going to go raid Science Stream. So everybody, tell Science, tell Balint that I say hi, and I'll catch you soon, okay? All right, bye-bye, everybody. Take care.
Here's something stranger than science fiction. Prehistoric fact.